Hi, everyone, and welcome to your monthly charm casting reading. As you know, I switched it up. It is now the third Tuesday of each month. So this particular reading will be for November 20th through to December 18th. I actually have the new mini Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. I'm in love with the big cards, and I use those in my animal readings, but I thought these are great for travel or for doing pick-a-cards, right? So we're going to do a card for each pile here. Pile 1, you will be Turkey Spirit. Oh, how fitting, right? Especially if you're in the US, right? Because your Thanksgiving is in November. So we have Turkey Spirit, card 61, give with gratitude and grace. So pile 1, if that calls to you, that will be pile 1 rather. Let's get a card for pile 2. Oh, it is Cat Spirit, card number 13, claim your independence. And let's get a card for pile number 3. It will be Dolphin Spirit, this and that are true, and the card is number 20. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Choose your pile or card, whichever calls to you, the number, the saying on the card, the animal itself. If you feel drawn to more than one, then you can watch more than one pile. Okay, I will see you in your reading. Hi to those of you who chose pile 1. Okay, what I'm going to do is get the charms here. It can be a bit noisy if you're wearing headphones. So I'm just going to mix these up really good. I'm going to cast them. Then I'm going to actually straighten them out and get right back to you with the reading. Well, I think we need a couple more there. That would make me feel better. Okay, there we go. If they're on a line, then that means they will be for both sections. Sometimes if they're down in here, they'll cover more than one. But let me get these sorted out for you, pile 1, and then we'll get right back into your reading. All right, pile 1. We have some interesting stuff here. You can see some of it did land on lines or on the cusp, so I'll speak to that when we get there. But I start with health and wellness, and I move my way around to home and family. So health and well-being, okay. Balance, balance, balance. What is it the balance of, though? We have the yin and the yang. That is the balance of masculine and feminine energy. We have both. So it's very important that we balance that masculine and feminine energy out within us so that we're not too much of one or too much of the other. Okay. I also feel that anything to do with Paris, because here's the Eiffel Tower. So does that mean that there's something about Paris, reading about it, eating French food, French desserts, French bread, whatever it is, that just is kind of like your comfort food, and it's just good for your well-being, generally speaking? Could it be that you love traveling to Paris? You love visiting Paris, okay? It could be that. Do you love the French language? It could be that. All right, you kind of see where I'm going with that. If it resonates, it resonates. If it don't, it don't. For some of you, it just could be travel that would be really good right now, getting out of the house. This does seem to be more of a long distance travel, but again, it could be short distance depending on your situation, okay? I also feel like you're going to be getting in some sort of message, some sort of phone call, email, whatever it is, some sort of communication that is going to be beneficial to your health and well-being at this time. Okay, moving on to money and finances. Look, when it comes to your money and finances, how you're saving your money, where you're investing it, how you're making it, whatever it may be, there are two things about it. I feel that you have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. You have to feel a really close, strong bond and connection to what it is or how it is that you're doing it. I also feel that for you, pile one, it needs to be creative. Okay, with the spider and the web, you know how intricate that web is and how, I don't know, just how dedicated even. So dedication may be a word, how dedicated they are to making that web perfect. And it's like it's like a snowflake, right? Or a star. There's no two the same. So I feel like you do this in a different kind of way. You do this in a very creative way that is unique to you. It may have something to do with the world. Maybe it's you invest around the world. Maybe, I don't know. Look, I really don't know a lot about Bitcoin or any of those things, but is it not thought of okay, this is where I'm going to sound really stupid, but I'm going to just say it. It's like a worldwide currency, right? I believe. So maybe that means something to you when it comes to your money and finances. I can't tell you how you invest, where you invest, what you do with it. That needs a professional financial advisor. I'm just saying that maybe for you, that means something, Bitcoin or any of those types of things where it's like a worldwide currency may be important to you in some way. When it comes to your money and finances. Let's move on to career and business. Well, I love this because two things. Is music somehow involved in your career or business? Because we have a horn here and we have a microphone. So that could be it. Do you maybe work? And this could be in your social life and connection too. This here microphone, okay? Do you work in radio? Do you have a podcast? Do you do stuff like this? YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is, that could somehow be involved or surround your career or business and would be good for you. Speaking out to the masses, think of it that way, okay? Now, it does require a bit of balance. You always want to make sure that your career and business, your work life and your home life or your private time is balanced, okay? And with the little turtle, always forward movement. I feel like whatever this is for you, pile one, you're in it for the long run, right? There's longevity in it. I also feel like slow and steady wins the race. So there's no need when it comes to your career or business to just be rushing. Oh, my fingers turn a little dark here from the tarnish probably on some of the silver pieces. But yeah, slow and steady. No need to rush. And there may be an unexpected gift, abundance, present, something unexpected, but in a good, positive way that's going to happen within your job, career, your business. Okay. That's going to be coming up. All right. But really here with the microphone, I really feel like it is you speaking somehow, whether it's you, and you could even play music, right? I don't know. You could be a DJ. I don't know, right? But it's something to do with that. Marry those two together. Okay. Let's get over into your social life and connections. One, you need to keep the balance in them. So you need to have your own special time. You need to have your time with friends. Okay. There needs to be balance there. Again, this friend group or when you're out with your friends, but I feel like it's more about your social, like it's about your groups. Are you maybe a group that likes to go out and protest together, or a group that likes to go out and, I want to say fight for the underdog. I'm thinking then more of a megaphone, but you know what I mean? Like your voice is still being heard. Are you in your group connection somehow speaking out in some way? All right. I feel like that is important for some of you. And if it's in Another way to say it is, if it's something you've been thinking about, this would be, yes, that's a go ahead. Definitely do that. I feel like family is important here. Maybe these social connections or groups that you're in really do feel like family. And maybe it's a part of you that's been missing, and you really should embrace that, okay? Because family doesn't need to be blood related. They can come in all shapes, forms, and sizes, all right? And with the deer here, okay, we actually have a stag, because look, he has his crown rack, whatever you call it, up there. Strength, stability. I don't know. Magnificence. All I could think of was the word awe, and I'm like, no, it's not awe. We look in awe at a beautiful buck, right? Like, it's like, wow, what a magnificent creature. So there may be something that you're doing in your group that you kind of feel that sense of awe or magnificence. It could be someone in your group that you see that way. That could be it. Or that you're just out really, because they fight, right, with their horns, with their antlers. I think it's called, right? So maybe this is just you all being strong in solidarity and standing together in some way. But I also see fun here. Okay, there's also fun to be had in this group. So, don't be too serious, because I want to say this, the stag here is very serious, all right? Remember to have some fun as well. Keep it balanced. When it comes to love and partnerships, we have, we have a few things. One, keep it fun. Have fun together. Maybe you're going to be bringing or meeting someone, or you've just met them, and you really are going to just hit it off, and it's like two kindred spirits out having fun. All right. Maybe you're waiting for someone to message or contact you when it comes to love or partnerships. Maybe you've been out on that first date. What I want to say, and I normally, seems out of character, but what I want to say is, if you haven't heard from that person, maybe you should call them. And that way you're not waiting. You're not waiting on someone, wondering for what's going to maybe turn into weeks on end, when really they had a nice time, but they want to move forward without you. And wouldn't it be better to know it up front? It would be nice if they had a call to tell you that, but they didn't, or message you or whatever. So maybe you might need, oh my heavens, to take the bull, like I'm thinking bull moose by the horns here, and you make that move and do that. Or maybe there's someone that you like that you want to call and maybe ask out. Anything goes, okay? It's time for you to be the captain of your own ship here with this wheel, right? You take control. You steer the ship. And maybe that significant other or that person would like that. And if you're in a relationship for a long time, all of this can still apply. Maybe it's time you step up and steer the ship for a while in your long-term relationship. Maybe you need to bring more joy and fun back in. Maybe you need to message each other a little more. Maybe some flirty texts would be nice. Something like that. Also here, it's asking you to bring out more of your masculine energy. Okay? And that could be it. Taking control of your life, right? Really bringing in that masculine energy that will enable you to do that. All right, let's go to advice and guidance. Again, the masculine energy is coming out on both cusps here. So that's some very important advice for you. And over here, remember, it was balancing it. So for some of you, maybe that balance comes about by you stepping more into your masculine than your feminine. Advice or guidance. Maybe you need to make the call. Or if maybe you are estranged from someone right now, or haven't spoke to someone in a long time, really have no desire or wish to speak to them, I do feel that with this phone here, again, if they do message, if they do call, the least you can do, working in the spirit of love here, is to hear them out. Okay? Or if it's you who needs to make that call or text or letter, whatever email, then you do it. Always bringing in the music. Always, always. So important. Like, just think about how happy music makes us, really. That's why it keeps showing up here. I mean, I do have a lot of charms, but really no many than some of the other charms that I have. Or no many. Not more than some of the other charms that I have. So I find it interesting that it always comes out. And this one looks like a cello or a violin or something. That could mean something to you. Maybe you need to pick your instrument up again. Or what is the instrument in your life? It may not be music. It could be something else that you're creative with or that you do, and they want you to start it again. It could be writing. Look at the typewriter here, okay? Maybe you write. Maybe you journal. Whatever it is, they want you to start doing that again. Maybe you love reading novels, okay, and you haven't read. You've been on your devices all the time now, and you've stopped reading. Maybe pick the books up again. Let's move down to spirituality and religion. We have Santa, Jupiter, joy. Could be around the Christmas season, being that Santa's here, but they want you to find joy in whatever it is that you do when it comes to spirituality or religion. They also want you to be in your masculine energy more. Okay, so again, it's finding that balance, bringing the music in. I always say here, church choir, church band, afraid, now's the time to step up and do it. And here we have, what's for you will not pass you by. So if you are going to a specific church or within a certain group for your spiritual practices, and maybe there's something that you want to do, maybe you wanted to step up for a position in one of those places, what's for you will not pass you by. So if you have been passed by this time, there's a reason for that. Go with the flow, let it go, and wait for the next opportunity. Let's move over here to home and family. Well, again, Santa. Oh, let me just say sorry about that if it's passed you by. Maybe something around December, around the Christmas holiday season. Same with home and family. Are you traveling for Christmas? Do you go home over the Christmas vacation or holidays to visit family? If you don't, this may be a message that maybe this year you should, for whatever reason. Maybe you should reach out and try to get or have a little family get together, whether it's in your home or you travel to another family member's. I feel around this holiday season, it could even be, I know Thanksgiving in the US is a huge holiday close to Christmas, right? It's about a month out. And I know that in some cases it can be even bigger than Christmas for a lot of people. So as far as family getting together, so maybe reach out and either have them at your home or go to their home. This could be a new tradition that you're starting here with the 0, which reminds me of the Fool card, stepping out on a new adventure, starting something new. For some of you, it may be reaching out. Maybe you have been estranged from your family or certain family members have been, and this is reaching out, and there's a fresh start in the cards for everyone. So pile one, I hope that you enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed doing the reading for you, and I will see you on December 19th. Hi to those of you who chose pile 2. We're going to get right into your charm casting reading here. I am going to go in, mix up the charms a bit. It may be noisy, especially if you're wearing earphones or earbuds or something like that. So just give me a moment. I'm going to cast them. Then I pause, sort them out so we can see them more clearly, because sometimes they land on lines or on top of one another. And then we get right back into the reading. So here we go. Okay, and that one is on the edge. All right, so we have everything on the board. I'm going to sort this out, and then we will get right into your reading. All right, pile 2. We have quite a few charms here. Let's get started. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. It just depends on the messages you need to hear. We start with health and well-being. We end with home and family. Health and well-being. Well, telephone. I think we had this here before in one of the other piles. This is message coming in, I think, that's going to make you happy. It could be you're waiting on some news about your health or well-being, okay? That should be coming in soon. Do you have to contact someone about your health or well-being? Is it time for you to contact a doctor, a health practitioner, a holistic practitioner? Okay, so just take that into consideration. As always, they want you to have balance. They want you to have fun. They want you to do things. Look, having balance in your life and being out having fun and doing things that are good for the spirit and the soul are, medicine to your health and well-being, okay? They're just a natural remedy medicine to your health and well-being. Maybe you need to get out and spend some time with friends, spilling the tea, just chatting, just, just having a good heartfelt talk with someone, your best friend, a family member, whoever it is in your life. That may really lift you up. Recognizing yourself as the king or queen that you are. We are divine beings here on earth having a human experience. We should be trying to enjoy it to our fullest. So maybe it's really taking on that king and queen energy. And just know that you have your angels behind you, okay? You have spirit, God, source, universe, your guides, your ancestors, your angels, whomever else it is. They don't mind being a representative for everyone. They have your back, okay? So do not be afraid, for some of you, if you're having a health issue, to make that call. They have your back. And with the fish, I want to say many things. I mean, the fish can be a show of abundance, okay? I don't know, what is the story about Jesus feeding the 500? Wasn't it fish and bread? I can't remember now. But anyway, so abundance. I also think of the fish as going and being able to go with the flow. That's having balance, right? Where you just go with the ebb and flow of the tide, right? It comes in, it goes out. You keep what you need, you get rid of what you don't, that sort of thing. All right, moving on to money and finances. Again, that fish, abundance. So I feel like whatever it is you do to make your money, invest it, how you save it, whatever it is, again, balance, all right, flow. But it is abundance, which I like. I feel like whatever your financial or money wishes or dreams are, you will see them succeed if you continue to work on them. And with the starfish, again, I just want to stay with the starfish. I feel like it's even with the ebb and flow, right? I said with the ebb and flow. I know that it can also be holding on too tightly. So maybe holding on to an old way of doing things here too tightly. And it may put up a blockage. So they want you to be balanced, go with the flow. Okay. And look at here. We have a message in the beak of this bird. So there could be messages coming in around your money and finances. So be expecting that, okay? Something that could help you with, again, the way that you do something or a new way of doing something. Or it could be a positive message if you've been waiting on news about your money and finances. This is it coming in. And with the skull, I just want to say with the skull, there's always a word of caution. So there may be something that you need to be cautious about, and maybe it's being cautious of hanging on too tightly. But also with the skull too, because I have my beautiful skull here, that is a clear, smart, intellectual thinking mind, okay? So be smart. Oh, I love that the two of those could go together. Be smart. You'll figure out what it is that you need to be cautious about, okay? And that carries right over here into career and business. So, is there something going on right now in your work, in your career, in your business, where you have to be clear thinking, that you have to be on top of it because there is something that maybe you need to be cautious about? Again, if you're not already thinking this, or if it hasn't already presented itself to you, then that message would not be for you. And no means ever do you make it fit, because that's like putting it out into the universe and then you're going to attract it in. This is just be clear thinking. Okay, be cautious about maybe some of the decisions that you make. In other words, just don't do it willy-nilly, right? Also, here we have a teapot. So maybe when it comes to your career and business, do you need to take more breaks? Do you need to take more coffee breaks? Work smarter, not harder, okay? Take time for a break. Is there maybe some tea that needs to be spilled in a good way? Something needs to be brought to the attention of someone when it comes to your job, your career, your business, that is beneficial, that is helpful. Because again, we're back here to the ballerina and the balance. Maybe there's something that's out of balance and you may have a really great idea on how to balance it out. This would maybe be your sign to speak up and say something about it. All right, when we get over here to social life and connections, what I love, we have Christmas tree. That is out. I mean, we know whether you celebrate Christmas or not as a religious holiday, we know on the commercial side of things, there are a lot of parties. There's a lot of gift giving. There's a lot of celebration going on. That's set aside from the religious part. I feel like really in our world today, Christmas is divided in two. Some people practice both sides of it, both paths, right? The commercial and fun side of it that way. And they celebrate Christmas as in the birth of Christ, as a religious holiday. So I feel like, and we have the star, which makes me again think of the Star of Bethlehem. We have the angel. Okay, I'm going right into the full Christmas story here now, but basically creation, all right? So maybe for some of you in a social life or in a social connection group that you belong to, it could really have a lot to do with that, the religious side of Christmas, all right? For the rest of you, it could just be different messages, which is maybe in your social group, things are really going to pick up. Maybe you're going to find them. Maybe you're heavily involved in Christmas in a commercial way, out celebrating and doing whatever. You could be out running a toy drive, right? Because you love to volunteer your time. You're in a volunteer social connection. Maybe you're the shining star of your group, okay? Maybe it's time for you to step up and be the shining star in your group. For others of you, maybe the group that you're joining or want to join, or the group of people that you hang out with, are very much of the creative sort. Maybe you're all artists. Maybe you're all musicians. Maybe you're all poets, dancers, whatever it may be, okay? Maybe you just love to get together to brainstorm about things. I don't know. But if that's what you're looking for, maybe that's going to come in and around for you around the Christmas season. And here they just want you to know that the angels, that your angel guides have your back, okay? They are here for you to call on. So if you maybe are having a difficult time in a group or in a social group, friends, whatever it may be, or connection, don't be afraid to lean back on your angels, because they're there for you and they'll help you get through it. Let's go to love and partnerships. Okay, so love and partnerships here. We have hope. We have fear not with a butterfly. We have the fleur-de-lis. And we have the evil eye charm. So There's no need for you to be fearful. If you feel better, look, I wear a little evil eye ring here. You may feel better wearing a ring, a bracelet, some piece of jewelry, or carrying an evil eye pendant with you in your pocket, okay? It may make you feel better when you're out meeting people, or I think of this especially if you're dating, right? Fear not. If you are having problems in a love relationship partnership right now, fear not. I think there's transformation that is going to come in. And I'm going to say, because I cannot lie, it's what pops into my head. For some of you, I think it will be positive transformation. And for others of you, it may be transformation of what needs to be released and let go of. Okay, it will be different for everyone. For some, there's hope, and for others, it will not be that. But once again, this message is for you if this is already a situation that you are in and aware of. Okay, this could be your sign. Maybe if you're meeting someone new, you're going to meet someone who's French, or someone who is from France. Or if you're in Canada, it would be maybe someone from Quebec. Or if you were in the US, the only French I know, maybe down in New Orleans, right? I think in Louisiana, there's different French sections, right? So maybe that means something to you. Maybe you'll meet your person while traveling to any of those places, or you may travel together to those places. With the pine cone, I just want to say, well, it reminds me of nature. And when I think of nature, I think it's being grounded. Maybe the two of you will enjoy spending time in nature together. Maybe you're very physically fit people, or not. Maybe you're going to get out for the exercise, but you'll love to be out, maybe hiking, biking, walking, doing things in nature. I think of it as a very grounding energy. So maybe that person that's coming into your life or just entered your life will be a very grounding source of energy for you. Okay, if you're a little bit on the swordy, or if you're a little bit on the airy side, all right, or fiery side. It also could be in an existing relationship that you need to find more balance and grounding. Let's move on to advice and guidance. I've been getting musical notes all over the place, and this time it's different because of this. It's the melody. You need to bring more harmony, more balance, more peace into your life. It was in a movie, and I'm trying to think of the movie. It's an older one. She was in England, The Holiday, and he said to her, I made a song for you and I'm only using the good notes, right? I feel like that's what you need to focus on. Only the good notes, only the positive things in your life right now. Also, it could be a time for travel. That may be something that's coming up for you. So if you have the opportunity, don't turn it down. We also have the seashell. Whenever I think of seashell, I think of course, we all do, water. But then let's take that a step further. It's feminine energy. It's nurturing. It's kind. It's caring. I feel like it's going again with the flow, the ebb and the flow, finding the balance in life in that way. To be able to move, right? To sway with the rocking boat rather than crashing from side to side. It's just finding that balance. And that's where all of this peace and harmony, right? And thinking in a positive way comes in. Let's come down to spirituality and religion. Again, we have the music here. Always. Are you joining the church choir? I'll say it every time. The church choir, the church band, your spiritual group. Is there an instrument to be played? Is there some way to be musical in that sense? Is this maybe going to bring in travel for you? Possibly. Could you be a missionary? Could your church group or spiritual group be going out to help people in other countries on humanitarian missions? Okay. I was also just thinking here, could your spiritual practice or religious practice reach other people in the world? Possibly. And you should take advantage of that. And here we have the solar plexus. And when it comes to spirituality and religion, and definitely with spirituality with the solar plexus, it's unlocking that personal power. It's that creative force in you. Being confident, trusting your intuition. And when you trust your intuition, you make wise decisions because you don't second guess yourself. That may be an important message for someone. And then we have here home and family to finish up. Look, 2 dogs come out. So maybe you have 2 dogs and this just says, hey, this is your reading. Maybe you have 1 dog and you want to get another dog so it has a companion. Maybe there needs to be more companionship and friendship within your household unit. Because remember, when I say home, it could also be when you rent with people too, right? Or maybe you have roommates, right? It depends. Or it could be your family, you and your spouse, your children, the grandparents may live there. However it works, it needs to be a cohesive, compatible. The relationships need to be like that. Also, never be afraid to bring in more joy and happiness. Look, we all need that in our lives. So maybe for some of you, those are the messages you need to hear. So if you liked this pile too, thank you very much. I will see you on December the 19th for your next reading. Hi to those of you who chose pile 3. This is going to be your charm casting reading for November 20th through to December 18th. I have switched it up a little bit. I will be putting the videos now for charm casting readings out on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. So what I'm going to do is just mix these around. I'm going to drop them, cast them out onto the board here. I then pause, straighten them all out so that we can see them and go through the reading. This may be a bit noisy, so just be prepared. Okay, there we go. We have them out. I'm going to sort through them, and then I'm going to get right back to you for your reading. All right, pile 3. We have a lot of charms here for you too. Let's get started. I start with health and well-being. I move around to home and family. That's where we end. So health and well-being. Look, we have a drum set here. All right, finding the beat, finding the harmony, I'm not going to say peace with the drum set, but I also want to say marching to the beat of your own drum. Maybe you haven't been doing that. Maybe you've been marching to the beat of everyone else's drum or not marching at all. So maybe that's something that you need to start doing, which is going to bring happiness into your life. More groundedness here with the pine cone. Maybe more time spent out in nature. Okay, hiking, walking, whatever it is that you want to do, sitting on a park bench or a lovely lounge chair in your backyard even. But you do need a little more of that. It brings the balance in, it brings in the serenity and the peace. Okay, that's where you'll get your serenity and peace. With the starfish, I want to say it is, again, ebb and flow. You know, it's having that balance in your life. The other thing with the starfish is healing. It's time to heal. It's time to maybe get grounded, take a little time out and heal. These will be different for everyone because there's different people listening. But like I said, it could be getting out, marching to the beat of your own drum, getting out in nature for that peace, that serenity, not holding on to so tightly to some things, right? Take care of yourself, your own self-love, your own self-care. And with the skate, Maybe for some of you, you love, okay, I went straight to skate, rollerblade. I don't know why, but maybe, I mean, we're having the winter season coming up here in Northern Hemisphere, right? So maybe this is skating. Maybe you're going to get out this winter and there's places like I know near where I live, there's lovely outdoor skating facilities. So, that may be what you need to do to get out and about, all right? When it comes to money and finances, look, there is some changes that need to be made. There's balance that needs to be found. So whether that comes to your investing, your saving, how you spend, how you make, there needs to be some sort of change or transformation that needs to be happening, whether it's in balance, okay? Is your spending in balance? Is your spending to savings ratio in balance? There needs to be or maybe you have to have someone take a really good look at it, someone who is wise. Maybe it's just you making wiser decisions about it, or you have a wise person or someone to take a look at it. Think of those big owl eyes, right? Those big, beautiful eyes taking a look at it, because there needs to be some changes in here. Don't feel it's bad. I just feel like it's all for the better. So that's why you would want to do it, because there needs to be some, groundedness with the balance, right? Okay, we come up to career and business. Here we are again, you guys. I love this with the music. I said before, and whenever the microphone comes out, do you have a job where you are speaking out to people? Podcast. Maybe you work in broadcasting. Maybe you are a singer, a musician. I love music here. Maybe you're a DJ, a VJ. I don't know. You work on radio. You are on YouTube, whatever it is. If you were thinking, is this something I need to pursue? I would say this is a yes. Really, I say this is something you should probably look into, or it's a confirmation that you're doing the right thing because it brings you joy and happiness. Okay? When we have the house up here, ever in career and business, it's all about having the balance between work and home. So you might want to be mindful of that. And with the footprint, it just basically is you're not alone here, okay? You have think of the footprints in the sand, right? You have God, source, universe, whomever it is that you go to, your guides, your ancestors, etc., spirit walking with you, beside you, in front of you, behind you, above you, below you, okay? You are protected and safe. Let's go over here to social life. Oh, whoops, I moved that and didn't even... Again, social life, social connections, groups you may belong to. There needs to be a balance between home and your groups, okay? Maybe in some cases a little less time with these connections, a little more time at home, or vice versa. Maybe you need to get out of the house and have a little more time. There needs to be a balance there. Maybe with these friends we have a megaphone, or I call it the cheerleader. Megaphone, right? And we have the microphone. So these groups that you belong to, are you out? As I said in the other one, and in a good way, protesting or marching to the beat of your own drum for some reason, something that you feel strongly about that makes you feel better, okay? But you're doing it with a group of friends. Is this something that you've been wishing for? New connections, new friend groups, whatever. Maybe, this is like wishing on a star. Maybe you have been wishing to find these people and you are, or you have just found them. Okay, we also have here, I believe this is, yes, a fairy. But you know who I want to say? Tinkerbell. And the reason I want to say Tinkerbell is, for one, that relationship she had with Peter Pan, right? They were bosom buddies. It was Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Maybe that's how you feel about your friends, or a certain friend, or a certain group that you belong to. Or if we just think of fairies, we think of the magic. Look at the magic that can come, right? Wishing upon a star, out doing something that's good for the collective as a group of people. knowing that magic exists and things can be changed. And here, this is fiery dragon power energy. This is old and it is ancient and it is strong. I want to say, let it light the fire in your belly for whatever it is you do in these groups and connections. Now, let's move over to love and relationships. We have the dragon. Does that person light the fire in your belly? There's the question to ask. Whether it's an old relationship, maybe that fire needs to be relit. If it's a new relationship, okay? Or if you're just starting to date or you're going out to meet someone, let that, I'm just going to pull it up here, let that dragon light the fire in your belly. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? It's important. You may meet your best friend here, okay? Maybe your partner is your best friend. Maybe you need to start acting more like best friends because you need everything in the relationship. You need the physical part, the emotional part, the spiritual, religious part. You need the friendship part. Okay, so for some of you, you need to make sure that always exists within the relationship. For some of you, it could be one of your best friends that you're interested in or who is interested in you. And again, always remember to keep the balance in the relationship. One person isn't more important than the other. Everything should be agreed upon. Right? Even out having fun here, the little rabbit with the tennis racket, maybe tennis or badminton or something like that is what you like to do. But you're not going to do it if one person doesn't like it. That isn't balanced. That's one-sided. And the squirrel. Well, what I love about the squirrel is, to start off, they love, like this time of year especially, they are out foraging, as we love to say now. They are out collecting all of their nuts, anything else that they store away for the winter. They are busy right now. So they're squirreling stuff away, as we like to say, right? Or it's like squirrel, where your head's just going in one direction to the other because everything catches your attention. Maybe that's what's happening when you're out dating. You can't make a decision because everybody's catching your attention. All right, not necessarily a bad thing, but you do have to settle down at some point and make the decision, right? Maybe you'll make it based on the friendship or who's lighting the fire in your belly or who makes you feel balanced, okay? Another thing that I want to say about this, when I said squirreling away, this is a message for someone. You know what? Depending on what you're out looking for, we're talking about love and partnerships or relationships here, which means you're out looking for love or you're out looking for a relationship or partnership, which means let's not waste anyone's time. So I know there are people who have 10 or 12 people on a string, on a list, on on their phone, that are just kind of hanging around just in case, oh, that one doesn't work out or that one doesn't work out. The fact is, if it's you who does that, or if someone's doing it to you, walk away, okay? Because you are not of importance to them. You are just someone who's being squirreled away for a snowy day, okay? So that's not helpful to you. And if you are the one who's guilty of doing that, keeping the just in cases, you wouldn't want that done to you. We're back to the golden rule. I've had this come up a lot in my tarot readings for this. This is going up from November 20th to December 18th, but for October and November, I've had a lot of that coming up in my readings, which is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. It's the golden rule. We learned it as children. We may have learned it in Sunday school. We may have learned it at daycare, right? Or kindergarten, whatever. You do unto others. You wouldn't want to be someone who was being squirreled away. So therefore, don't keep someone on a string, squirreling them away. All right, moving on to advice and guidance. Well, as always, balance. They're really big about balance, you guys. And that is balance in our life in many areas, whether it's work and career, the way you're doing money, for your health and wellness, in your spirituality, religion, your friendships, whatever. It is also having the mind and the soul, or the head and the heart, or the ego and the intuition, however you want to say it, working together as one. Therefore, your ego isn't taking over making decisions, nor are you making them solely from a emotional place, right? You're working together. That is important information for you. But transformation, look, we have the dragonfly here. It is time, advice and guidance. It is time to hammer away what does not belong in your life. Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? Okay? What doesn't belong? What isn't serving your highest good? What is not allowing you to live your best life? What is not allowing you to live a spirit-filled life? What is not good for you? You need to hammer it away. You need to rebuild with things that do serve your soul purpose, and not just your soul purpose, but your soul, S-O-U-L and S-O-L-E. Okay? Either way you want to say it. Well, it's two different things, but both of them need to be fulfilled. All right, moving on to spirituality and religion. Look at this. We have two tree of life. Okay? And what I want to say about that with the two trees of life, is this is getting grounded. This is building roots. This is building a foundation. Whether you're doing it on a spiritual side or a religious side, it's building those roots. It's your family even. You know, is your family involved in these practices with you? It is rising up, right? Like the lotus flower from the mud, and it comes up and it's just beautiful. That could be you ascending spiritually, right? That could be you in a religious sense, maybe baptism or committing to the church or organization or to God, Jesus, okay? On a spiritual sense, it is ascending. It is rising maybe from third to fifth dimension. It's seeing the beauty in your life, that after maybe a time of mud, there can be beauty. And with the 4-leaf clover here, I just want to say, it makes me think Irish. It makes me do a nod to the Irish faiths, okay, for whatever reason, whether that is old spiritual ways of being, the your ancestors, whether it's present day. All right, it made me go there for whatever reason. Now let's go to home and family. We have a castle, we have a key, we have a skeleton. So, do we need to unlock some doors and let the skeletons out of the closet when it comes to home and family? I always say better to deal with them now than to hold them in for years and years and years. Let it out. You know what? It helps us to move on faster and quicker and to be in a place that we need to be in. Are you maybe changing homes? Because look, we have a home here and we have a home here. So maybe for some of you, it is going out and purchasing. You have a key here to a new home. Maybe for some of you, it's moving away from home for the first time. Maybe for some of you, it's buying a new home. It's buying an additional home. It's a vacation home. It's going on vacation. You've rented a home somewhere. It's you switching it up somehow. Maybe you're moving, okay? If you're a renter, maybe you're moving. It can be any of those things. But back to the unlocking the door and letting the skeletons out of the closet, that needs to be done too. I love this key is multi-purpose today. It's either letting, and it's, once those skeletons are out, yes, it's like opening a new door to a new place, to a new life, right? So we can think of it that way as well. But if you enjoyed this pile 3, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Your next charm casting reading will be on December 19th. So I will see you then.